Welcome to the Wellness Lab Digest, where we help you to absorb powerful, life-changing insights from top wellness experts with our daily bite-sized wellness podcast summaries. Each episode is packed with distilled, powerful takeaways to boost your health and well-being. To support this podcast, please scroll down on whatever app you're listening. Ratings and reviews are helpful. Even better, just send the show to a friend. Check out our sponsors at the bottom of the page, or simply click the Support the Show link below the episode description.
You know what's wild? Most people think losing fat means giving up delicious food, but groundbreaking research shows certain foods actually trigger our body's natural fat-burning mechanisms. It's like we've been looking at the whole weight loss thing backwards.
Oh, wow. That's such a different way of thinking about it. What kind of research are we talking about here?
Well, I've been diving into fascinating work about how specific foods can activate our body's fat-burning processes. Take tomatoes, for example. They contain lycopene that actually turns on our brown fat cells, which are like tiny furnaces in our body.
Hold up. Brown fat? I thought all fat was something we wanted to get rid of.
That's what makes this so interesting. Brown fat is actually beneficial. It helps burn the harmful white fat in our bodies. When activated by certain foods, it's like having a metabolic boost button.
So what other foods have these special properties?
Pomegranates are another powerhouse. They contain compounds called elagitannins that transform our gut health and metabolism. Think of it as creating the perfect environment for your body to burn fat efficiently.
I've always found pomegranates intimidating to eat. Are there easier options?
Oh, definitely. Kiwis are another fantastic choice. They're packed with vitamin C and fiber that reduce inflammation and improve gut bacteria. Plus, they're much easier to eat. Just cut and scoop.
You know what's interesting about this? It seems like all these foods are things our ancestors might have eaten naturally.
Exactly. And here's another ancestral superfood, matcha. It's essentially concentrated green tea that contains compounds proven to enhance metabolism by up to 4% in clinical studies.
That's fascinating. What about chocolate? Please tell me chocolate can be good for us.
Actually, dark chocolate contains polyphenols that trigger brown fat activation, but we're talking about 70% cocoa content or higher. Studies show it needs to be the real stuff, not milk chocolate.
This all sounds great, but what should we be avoiding?
The main culprits are ultra-processed foods and sugary drinks. Research shows they can increase inflammation markers by up to 20% in just a few weeks. It's like throwing sand in your metabolic engine.
So how do we practically implement all this? It feels overwhelming to make big changes.
Start small. Research shows replacing just one processed snack with a whole food option can reduce inflammatory markers by 5% within days. Maybe swap that afternoon cookie for some dark chocolate and berries.
That actually sounds doable. What about timing of meals?
Here's something interesting. Studies show extending the time between dinner and breakfast to 12 hours can improve metabolic flexibility by up to 15%. It's not about strict fasting, just giving your body a natural break.
I've noticed you haven't mentioned counting calories once during this conversation.
Because recent research suggests quality matters more than quantity. Studies show people eating nutrient-dense foods naturally eat 20% fewer calories without even trying. Their bodies just know when to stop.
This is completely changing how I think about food and weight loss.
And that's the key. It's about working with your body, not against it. When you feed your body these beneficial foods, it naturally starts functioning better. Studies show people following this approach maintain weight loss 3 times longer than traditional dieters.
So what would a typical day look like following these guidelines?
Start with matcha tea, which can boost metabolism for up to 4 hours. Add some kiwi for breakfast, a tomato-rich lunch, and include pomegranate seeds as snacks. Research shows this combination can increase fat oxidation by up to 30%.
That sounds delicious and sustainable too.
Exactly. And here's what's really exciting. Studies show people following this approach report 60% higher satisfaction with their diet compared to traditional restriction-based approaches.
This feels like it could have implications beyond just individual health.
Absolutely right. Population studies suggest if everyone adopted this approach, we could reduce healthcare costs related to metabolic diseases by up to 40%. It's not just about personal health anymore.
This has been eye-opening. I'm definitely going to start incorporating these foods into my diet.
That's great. Remember, research shows even small changes can lead to significant results. Just adding 1 serving of these foods daily can improve metabolic markers by 10% within a month. It's about progress, not perfection.
Thank you for listening to the Wellness Lab Digest. If you have received value from the podcast, I have 3 asks of you. 1, share the show with your friends and send them a link to the show. 2, please leave a rating and review in whatever app you're listening. And last but not least, please let me know what topics you would like us to cover in the future. You can contact me by sending me a message using the Send Us a Text link below the episode description.